Evolution for Ahaye GCDs, Mema Obibia Aquaba. Ahade latest and hot news and Kwa Enamide and Bremo. Amity say we don't subscribe. What they say we subscribe to channel. Yobaya say over click the subscribe button. Now what belly notification we are need to be the first person on Sabe can Sabi. I feel we are now what like video. Give us a thumbs up, nothing. Shema Ato Forson we may be here now we and somewhere possible I will done a memoir. I feel young here a year and somewhere Ato your console. A year I want to innocent also or Chinadi for Ghana has in some degree. Now a year Supreme Court a judiciary any a year Parliament in summer course or a speaker. Abans man budget every way in the two upon tier forces I declare vacant. I know now my MP before I say when I call a year minority I say one it tells you Afenyo Markins a year on the MP before majority the clinical at the quarter year Supreme Court. Now Supreme Court so every ruling ever to upon tier simply be a train as Basa. I don't know Ivan so any reaction at to that is I want to be a money a year Supreme Court for now what and simply and Tetemara Yamkona Kachi Yakuti and Summer year Ivan innocent Eddie to be a fire summer also I was Supreme Court.
Ivan, my answer discussion. Speaker adjourns a parliament indefinitely over vacant MPs and Supreme Court controversial ruling. Ivan Yanko.
I said, I'm Mr. Kachono, say, monitor media space in the landscape. And some bebre also regarding this particular development. And last week, we studio Hana Nayawa and a news to know a breaky.
That's right.
And I think, sir, you can't hold some bebre. And I think say akwa baba bedru nene yakwa abwa behu babi ababepie issue ni quite diverse and I'm sure that there are several areas that you betimi aka ho asama kan yi so that the average and the ordinary Ghanaian no betimi ate here. Last cap metena our video so catch say wo he the democracy na ya practice no wo he construct framework na esi ho na e won taban akase miensa. One has to do with the executive, the other one has to do with the judiciary and the legislature. These are the three arms of government. Beneath it, there are other institutions. Right. So this whole democratic framework, standing on these major arms. As I over check krana, other institutions of state come directly under any of these arms. Exactly. You understand? Because the ministry, other way obia betimi blocks. And the constitution, and answer democracy by design, allocate power to any of these events, three arms of government. There is a particular principle in Usunya government, say separation of powers. These arms of government, they are supposed to work. Omunya any direct influence, and answer obiti baby or directly what to do. And it's a house in Benya adajia in Numa. And intina ebeto bia na public no complain say yes say MP air co parliament akoye na dwuma even sermons grand and servo no police in cheno because that job na akoye within the house no is deemed sacrosanct, very sacred. And he's representing people, he's there at the behest of a whole constituency. So in a personal indiscretion and as a boni bi or no akoye cannot stop him from representing the people.
That's right.
That tells you how crucial you man and until as a parliament consider Bela no power, no authority. I was as we soon everything stop a parliament from considering that bill. Now so consider bill we now free inherently detrimental to public interest. Then the constitution the same one the separation of powers, as you create another
Net2
TV. Your friends say check and balances. And no need to me addressing. Is the reason why Abra President Akufo Addo catch or say ya the bill akoto nanim na amfa signature ento so na own sign or catch or say own sign no me catch or say enimra kwan mu ba bia because in the exercise of his fundamental duty as president no court no power na betimi stop him from doing so.
Right.
So signing court to be anti-member go president on sign or sign we. Now free say why infringe on and as na why no detrimental to public interest. There you take it up, go to court and seek redress. But Anam's president has never shown any interest in this LGBT way, and I think that discussion is premised on Article 97(1)(g)
of the 1992
of the 1992 constitution, Alaska. Say your constitution as a ready. You don't just look at the text. Yes, I understand. The only people who have the right to put interpretation on the constitutional provision are a judge. So, offer a lawyer or telephone way, so now say, what on a casa, the other country will be otchere na adwen.
Okay.
A constitution empower only a judge to put interpretation, and then a lawyer's Córt otchere na adwen. Obibet me a casa, Jiran and also casa, we are not judging about to go.
That's right.
What I say? You're only expressing your opinion. You've been taught. And your understanding about legal matters are refined as compared to the ordinary person. But in there is just an opinion. Okay. The only person who put interpretation on constitutional provision has to do with the judge. And Alaska, so you don't just look at the text. You look at the whole thing in spirit and in everything.
Okay. Because
the whole essence of that particular constitutional provision, our Article 97G, is to prevent chaos. Now yet me guarantee I secure the allegiance of members of parliament. Do you know why that clause is there? Because Abraham Kwame Nkrumah president, according to report, he was poaching MPs or to talk MPs.
That's right.
And when you now unipa na okura will take it our parliament, obi a turn through party. So that particular when he was there, but who's a man for a futuristic effect? But no, common sense in an interpretation. You look at the intent of that particular provision to prevent chaos and secure the allegiance of people. So it cannot be futuristic.
Okay.
What I say? We need to deal immediately with the current happenings in parliament because say nobody defected from the party. Not say minyantra officially my into many party nima harmonious environment bang. And they be created within the house. Some time ago, I was contemplating, okay, my standing on the ticket of the NDC in Amako Parliament.
That's
right. And Amako Wene. Nasa me say me ne NDC enye adwuma biema. And mrabe na ho kwan say ye me free party. Now I was beginning to think that particular thing it makes sense because Saoko constituency wa nipa no moto abama me no. Even though I may be on the ticket of the NDC, but CPP for to Abama, MPP for Bukra to Abama. Okay. What I say? So when it comes to this particular matter, you weigh the allegiance MP no war to his constituents as against loyalty to his party. So that can be a constitutional argument that the Supreme Court can deal with. But on the other side, clear constitution in my article, your fans saying 97, they say no. Yanka say pamwo firi ho na mom vehicle na wo buy na say wo se woni ni nya adwuma biem dia go back to the constituency na kofasa na yansa ma kwan na yanto aba foforo. And in the past we've seen a lot of people more breaking away from their party, they resign, they go back, they vote on that particular way. Sabaya betimi me say there sabaya ye betimi maintaining harmony in the house na yan create what chaos. Now the allegiance of members of parliament can be guaranteed so that future poaching am at all me akwa say yebo league in the middle of where ya wahye with team no be he omo number 9 o hye goals na na wabeto na frim even and then uko Europe football season kra no ya window for buying players because yes sir you be critical in the teams because nipa no na Barcelona ye gina na so ya chi obi a 555 yi o kire obi ba ya o se mato ya fe say ya ma na se mato we you create
you see the old Barcelona yes
say team papa pai we ase ba
ko has mami guys chama bendo aba betana se yanko.
Okay, so Alaska sanet here, so that was the intent and the purposes that particular constitutional provision at the buy. And in so already sources of law, precedent sometimes one of the sources of law even judicial ruling need those kind of stuff. So in the past nanwada and that particular constitutional provision coming to life when Makekwe etna na nedwom na yese for me na MPP no so wako opposition wako independent. Right. We all saw what happened in this country. There was no contestation whatever from anybody because you're free say in the past, and that is in line with practice Okroma saying and no that's sorry 4 MPs almost more breaking away from their party bra discussion there also. So Babin he listened to all sides of parliament.
That's right.
MOB making arguments. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't hasty. Alaska yes, almost 2 days. Me kwana me fi say 1 day.
Rabi almost 2 days.
Yes, 2 days. Kotena fear deliberation because yes, in Nyansa any Akufo team, and I'm sure as experienced as he is, you know, he did a lot of consultation.
Number 3,
yes. Or proposed to change Obiya was then he came back to the house and ordered the ruling about Bonting. But Abra Onyam for ruling no no na Afenyo Markins Ako Court seeking to injunct the speaker from say Obakasa Obebien no akasa. Now let's come back and say that particular thing no, it doesn't work. You cannot injunct speaker sitting in his chamber. Some of the court order Abra declaration he was not even going to give a ruling. No, it was just a declaration because that thing has already happened.
That's right.
And per the constitution of the MPP and the NDC, when you break away from the party, now you can join other political party, automatically, no, membership, what for future?
I am not even cutting you short, but when him, Emra, MPs, you know.
Yes.
One more file independent, and one more fee majority caucus platform. So
exactly. So I know the day, no, sir, for future, no, constitution, you know. O say we a party near na wujina you take it so na so we free man no they no take it na vehicle na about parliament no it's questionable.
Exactly.
So it's just common sense, but I mean that is a terrain a constitutional matter. I don't want to go there, but you see the hypocrisy of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And then I take over the social media by storm. No, nobody is questioning whether what speaker no legitimate or illegitimate or right and also no, nobody has delved into that particular arena. Yes, we can express our opinion regarding, but a law no only empowers a judge to put interpretation. The necessary interpretation to so say nyansa anima ya baba have a catch say interpretation out the to so no nyansa anim ya ba catch Alaska enti Afenyo Markins di break no call catch the Supreme Court say now in the wisdom of some people matina bench no so pen no omeka cho say na ehia say Supreme Court about just matter na tum because okay constitution is it G down or something. There is a provision that is specifically dedicated so such circumstances no who dealing with I say high court Justice Atuguba watena sit no so pen yo he made it clear say invoking the original you fan saying powers of the saying a Supreme Court no wasn't necessary because that particular issue nipa na assembly din no could have equally gone to High Court to seek redress and as a forum. But you see, and America said in constitutional matter whatever. But Alaska, the lightning speed at which the Supreme Court reacted to this matter, and a major concern to be the hypocrisy and the predictability of the saying unanimous saying FC no. So social media that day. Na nema mienu na na trendy. One mwa. Second unanimous FC. Sa nema mienu na make a description among for the Supreme Court. This is the highest pinnacle of judicial power in this country. If you go to Twitter on that day, me screenshot here. One mwa. Second your friend is saying unanimous FC. Now what you crow him, that's a justice delivery system no is being subjected to such public ridicule no mortification. Alaska, we will be aware sensible. You need to know that something is wrong. Come I catch us in dispensing justice. You know, you don't just look at men are meeting me court and I made a pongo meeting to them. No, you must be progressive and listen to the concerns being expressed by the people. Because justice now with dispense, it's not for animals. It is not for Chinese. It's for Ghanaians. So Ghanaians must respect and accept it. But consistently, who dispensing justice and the people are revolting. You need to do sober reflection and ask yourself a lot of questions. But that is the common sense that is missing from the Supreme Court. Or people think, oh, please, the penny, because in the first place, my culture say the stretching of judicial arm into the throat of the speaker and Ankasa Krano pair. This blocks American kind.
And you're wrong.
And you're unreasonable when you say wrong. With the wrong crowd there, that will bring us into legal contestation as well. It doesn't make sense. But my culture say politics and the governance is not always about weaponize the whole thing with the legal regime. Then it's just common sense will tell you say it doesn't make sense. But Supreme Court in 10 term less than 12 hours. It's me a panel. Equal deliberating on this matter and surprisingly and I say yes surprisingly nipa num no motena saade no so ni nyina no jetum say
amadwen ye baako
Alaska number ba kire wade Afenyo Markins echo S party through S party
okay
S party ni say me no wanya asem na wudi mrika court say court we me na Alaska nya asem tie me nko a mentie no na wantie ne na se ade na me Alaska ya no wugya ama ne ya obekọ so irreparable damage ai obewie no ye ho hwe enye entity me nko a ana Supreme Court je Afenyo Markins share them and omuti ono nko a and in some Afenyo Markins kan and I wish I can read portions of it on this particular thing for you. Na Alaska me say be shock you. Yes. So we here me wo ruling ni nyina I've read the entire ruling but let me
mami the ex-party motion the other coin no.
Yes, until they're not all seeking na make actually. I say we have come to sorry, I'm just
right. I'm live on the radio.
Okay, I'm cool now. I say we have come as party because of the urgency of this matter upon the conjoint reading of Article 29.5 and Standing Order 1933 of the CI 47 of High Court, that is civil procedure rules, where the subject of application is likely to cause irreparable damage. Stay of execution must be granted. So these are the bases. Okay. So the question is, dear Ben, into na woba S party, yenti onkwa. The reasons in here, S party because of the likely mischief. The word mischief being a hurt to the business of Parliament, especially committees chaired by the current majority members. Or say mischief because of Parliament. Na se wam granting the S party enti ono nkwa na wan stop it the speaker edia bana government business will come to a halt. Now last time say 4 people who free parliament ejabetom. And parliament cannot constitute quorum or betimi dey omodwuma. So what is the reasonable basis upon which obi be gina same way so I grant S party? Again, the likelihood of the current majority members doing everything, the current minority members, NDC, for doing everything in their power to halt business of government in this dying minute.
In this dying minute?
Yes. And the NDC MPs, Omuni speaker, no muya mamboye for. Say, speaker, we was when you no kwa and take actions, Alaska. Then say government business. Now we say government business be no say no.
Business papa be.
No, yes, akra. We say nipa kan sam chiro. You need to go into business bang. Na say 4 MPs in free parliament minority intimidation money majority intimidation omu nya quorum ana e dey na besi ana NDC for come the 2 obeko ana am the bomb obeko house ho. So there must be a reasonable argument to establish basis for some of these things. What are some American?
That's right.
Good. And order a continue mechanical and I will call their so sa na oba be a Supreme Court say oje atomne na se for no ma okanya Alaska. Sometimes you begin to ask yourself the basic things me say opa betimi asua law akotena sky. There are certain basic element principle of logic, reasoning and common sense say enima oboa because there is no law in this earth that edify these basic principles. Enyansa wom animu da ho odwene ho atimu se sisi so sa na marate.
That's right.
Yes, and na we nyan call law school kran sem be almost start here we ni be akọ because these are basic your fence standard that ya dey adjudge case bia na Alaska Supreme Court to say na nka me kan ni nyina kire wan ka beti ase ba bia o kan say the fundamental human right of these 4 constituencies we know ya breach because aka for 4 weeks na aka no we cannot deny them representation.
Okay.
This is the highest pinnacle of judicial power talking. Say, they are so endeared to human rights until say you be deny Ghana nipa representation in parliament for just 2 weeks there. Peneda. Now we be say nipa romo sha akwafu ni lolobi no. Ye moa. Nye nipa.
Meba mami correct wa de Sal no.
Okay.
No constituency no sa nkrabata no mo di abom.
Yeah, din na yakeka abom.
Okay. Enti Central Coffee.
Okay.
Akpafu.
Yes, sir.
Lekwe ena lolobi eno na abom ni afa na sa.
So the question maybe say lolobi for na ya deny omo for 4 years no. Omo ya nkoko. Omo here representative for 4 years. Because when the issue went to parliament, omo say they should regularize it and make sure that the next 4 years no. Next parliament, and I think there are 270.
But for now,
276.
But as it stands now, Kurano, I don't know. Say notice of who Kurano. I know my. As it stands now, come on.
Alaska So these people cannot be denied the same representation in parliament for 4 weeks. But Shani Lolo before they bet me at Tenefie without representative, and that is legal. You see, it is the same judges no more than this case is no more 5.
That's right.
A mutre and a china jachi question case so
sir.
I can say MP no yedina sama yenyembu anafono yentu na se no nkwotenafie yen jantino. This is the first time
almost 2 years old. Na ono so yachi na share them on for Oma should start holding himself as a people's representative.
Alaska me say what's your law nipa yenso your common sense.
Oh, that's right.
Alaska winim. This is a Supreme Court or established that we are so endeared to the human right of individuals. They need to have representation. On the other breath, you are denying the people somewhere representation. That particular constitutional way, you could have killed it. The same thing, the Yato Abama or the parliament, you see, I'm quoting and the man sat home for 2 good years. So where lies your principle? And to be say the judiciary has become a terror arm of power. Government used to get it way. You are no longer a judicial, your friend say, we are a political institution being used for diabolic agenda. And you think people will respect you for that? Alaska me say. First, there's a judicial, na Alaska. Pontius Pilate no said that the otchere nani pansuro no. Na ti say wa wo de pongo nwia so ti. And the generation ya will be Pontius Pilate no said that the otchere na masa nipa nsuro no. And ti say wa wo share pongo mi. Oh yeah, the only way you can scare people is beat them with your intelligence, beat them with reasoning, beat them with logic. So as I'm not the two Obama, and you think you can intimidate people because you are a judge, people call you my lawyer, and you're living in your wake, ruling now, are you devoid of common sense, reasoning in this current world? Alaska, you are sleeping. Because I said this generation, people are very vocal, people are very critical. Wouldn't mean dressing who as will be a free Old Testament him talk for money. Be a viva. That was dressing who we are getting who says no free Old Testament him talk from. Now you think you can intimidate every who in the power hard no. Alaska, it can be possible. And the question is there are so many questions regarding ruling from the Supreme Court. A bar and your lawyers na interpret you. And yet, a judges who are ordinary and the average people. And a question the common sense part what that particular ruling no more. And the Abasana, how do you expect people to have trust in these institutions? And that is a worry. Because recently CDD had a report about one thing. Now, the level of confidence are public about the judiciary. Alaska, go back and read that particular report. Recently, one of their handle Twitter, Anomubisa. How well, as an ordinary Ghanaian, you trust the judiciary? Okanya, Alaska, Miss Uyembeso. And we are Obina, we are progressive minded now to your mind more. You should be very much concerned about some of these things. You got first in another tenor courtroom, a Honamia gang leader, I can just do whatever and get away by. And then there are diverse platformers. People will express their opinion, and you can gag people. And my catcher said this principle of mature for contempt, so man belongs to antiquity. That is why now if you go to other jurisprudence, I'm for concerning those things to judicial dustbin because people are progressive minded. Say you have the room to act, take their decision in your courtroom, but a barbontia you cannot gag the public from expressing their opinion. That's right. So I think the Supreme Court near I'm a public trust in the institution. I dip it so low to the sense and respect. In the past, I'm for Haley at the moment, and then you hobby. Wow. That is why the last time I was telling you, saying we are coming from a background, Alaska. Judiciary aware, President now bomb what the packet judges do moguho from higher court to appeals court to the Supreme Court. Number of judges Akufo Addo appointed in the history of this country, President Dibeno appointed.
That's right.
The number now that higher 14, normally we don't even go above, and then you term. Say two people are sitting in parliament, calling or call parliament to come back in India. They are calling them back to come and approve these two people to go and join the Supreme Court. And the packing ruling na eba ni idea just to pave way for government. Yet the Kromana Dominivo. Ye two is a bunch from his office.
That's right.
As some no call Supreme Court, Supreme Mammy we ya said that tenant seven to delay seminar making sure say by the time I'm back on not Dominivo retirement.
That's right.
Now we are saying I don't free some yes smart. So the omu yen is to pave way for Akufo Addo to do whatever that he want to do.
To buy time.
Yet the Kroma na NDC and 6 other political parties, the Electoral Commission call Cóurt. Kokachire about registration at district offices in the Nasafon. Alaska, yes, Chief Justice to Kwang or the your first date national bottom to Kwang. By the time the woman came back, na your first easy area the oil, and which means a suit to unnecessary. And these are tactics we use over the years. I had intimidate a man for in a very your friend saying silent way in as a forum. Now, I never when you knock a Camboma, maybe say trust Ben up as a man for a woman. Anything and people are threatening, so nobody's going to court.
Exactly.
So just imagine how chaotic the situation can be, knowing very well, say, Yako constituency na misunderstanding about what it means that a man for a cocoon on the ground because they don't see the court as an avenue of arbitration. I'll call it matter matter amount. Because in the thinking of some people, no, almost free say president and assassin friends and then as a forum. Because if you look at some of the individuals sitting at the Supreme Court today, look at some of the fraternal alliances some of them even have with the president. Right. One of the boy, Papa I say, Jack Papa if you know, and I go for the boy from day one, so be any no. And several other people are almost high court in way. A parliamentary candidate, failed parliamentary candidate in the past. Some judges or multi-chroma, and you want people to trust you. So I think say judiciary not soil the home. And mammy way by my video so number tenaka say our responsibility because Ninia Bakuno Koy, no, a good judiciary nani massy.
And then now so no banner the anchor.
Oh, Nasa or your bar. So we felt say all banner certain element of reasoning, the common sense will come to bear. So be able to me repair the damaged image, the tattered image of the judiciary. But let's get no crowd say because ono na man ho kwan say ono crowd the pens with the name
right.
And the image is sinking. And how many people in the world respect for the court today? How many people are willing to go to court? And now what's why? You must be very concerned. And don't sit there and think that you can cow people, intimidate people because mechanism will be here. Master, Pontius Pilate cross that dear channel, no crowd any way, and that's how I say way. Alaska, there should be reasonable and amenable to wisdom. No, who say, season the time now, you woman. People are ready to question whatever. Opa my yesu nsisa ne nkonwa na ne bibia o me hind down okroma no ni nsem Alaska, people will go after him. Come for nothing Simon back biem no medi nsem hunu. People will speak their mind. So the only thing you can do at this point is to do the right thing. So that people will know say you are doing the right thing. But anything aside that, trust me, you will never get away with it. So the Supreme Court must learn and be very much concerned about the public outcry. The kind of doubt man for mumu gidi man for ni wo mumu no what I don't think them na me wa me court no justice na would dispense and would dispense man kokko o ye manipa na say nipa are not accepting it, you should know say something is wrong. They need to work and put their asses together.
That was Ivan J. Innocent.
You're waiting for winning and some of your Ivan J. Innocent and the 2 gallons watching the 5 years Supreme Court and Parliament and some of also rare a Supreme Court ever 2 gallon and also watching again at the Afam now Wada and some go now Eddie because this is so and our hero. So we can subscribe here. Umodi say subscribe to channel and say hadia latest and hot news and Aremeyaw Bremo. I don't know like if you like the video na say share my Ato Forson na we be here now who and some also ewo Ghana me man was over to otchere what they are finding so we now ewo comment box but in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.